So a very warm welcome to everyone. And we, the team of Nature's Orbit, this is our second episode that we are hosting. It's called the TorchLight series. And we are, before I go ahead into what the series, with the interview, let's just tell you a little bit about what Nature's Orbit is and also the series. So in recent years, we've all seen, meaning not even recent years, for quite some time now, we've all seen how the environment has been facing such a host of critical issues. Whether it's climate change, deforestation, polluted oceans, unprecedented floods, forest fires. So the list goes on and on. And as a result, this has totally taken a tremendous toll on Earth and has really caused irrevocable damage. So, we, the team of Nature's Orbit, we are a group of friends who came together, and we've come together actually to work towards a clean, green, and a sustainable world through responsible consumption, production, and development. We also aim to create an awareness amongst the masses on sustainable living, which is really the need of the hour, as I think everybody can see. And of course, the COVID-19 pandemic has very clearly shown us that now is the time to take corrective action if we want a better tomorrow. It's no time in the future, but now is the time to kind of make that change. So in this series, called the TorchLight series, we are in conversation with those heroes who have been working diligently to serve the planet, to make a difference in their own unique and innovative ways. So in our first episode on World Environment Day, we were very privileged to discuss with India's lake savior, Mr. Anand Malligawad, on lake restoration and overcoming the water crisis. So today, we are very, very honored to introduce from the beautiful river island of Majuli in Assam, Miss Momee Pegu, who is not only an organic farmer who promotes sustainable farming methods, but she also works to empower and enable farmers to create wealth from waste. So very warm welcome, Momee, and it's so lovely to have you on our show. I know, we'd like to hear your story right from the start of how you got into farming actually. And given that I know your family traditionally is in the farming profession, but I also know that you were not too keen on, taking up farming. And so what actually made you change your mind? What was it that said, okay, let me try this. Let me give it a shot.
So, as you say, I never liked farming initially as a child because even my parents used to encourage me a lot not to do farming because it's too much of a hard work and less rewards, So, and normally people in and around, they will never ask you to do farming. But one thing is that if we stop farming, there is no food. So the value of a farmer, that was realized also because when I was doing my MSW in Jorhat, Bosco Institute, one of the extracurricular activities that we used to have exposed to was organic farming practices. And I could connect very well at the time because one thing was, well, without farmer, we won't survive. And another thing was, when we do farming organically, like organic farming, it contributes a lot to the environment. Because one thing is, we can't stop farming. Somewhere or the other place there will be farming, but to really balance it with the environment through doing it organically without using much of chemical pesticides and all of these things was new to me. And also calling ourselves farmer, because what happened is that normally when you have a picture of a farmer, you always have this torn clothes and shabbily dressed and all of these things. But I had the chance to see how good farming can be. We can do farm with style, and we can adopt modern practices. We can do farming in small area. Yet when we are doing farming ourselves, there are things that we don't have to worry about. That is like your health, nutrition, also economic sustainability, because through farming we can also bring about economic sustainability. And also when we are doing organic farming, it contributes to the environment, because if we use chemical pesticides, it really affects the environment. Also it affects the health. So that's why I actually started to give interest to farming when we heard about organic farming and farm with style and these concepts that it came. And connecting back to the roots, I mean connecting back to my parents and people in my village, I developed much interest in doing farming. Yeah.
Well, you know, what you said is so true, because it's because of farmers we have food on our plate. You know, it's quite simple. So yeah, that's amazing. So, you know, in 2015, you started this NGO called Rigbo. So could you just elaborate more on how this came about? You know, what was the thought behind Rigbo, and what are the current activities that you're involved in right now?
So Rigbo was started in 2015, but it was registered in 2017. It's a public charitable trust. So started in 2015 and registered in 2017. I never had an intention to register also an NGO, but I just wanted to give back something to the society. So what happened is that I did my MSW in the year 2008 to 10 in Bosco Institute, Jorhat. So that is where I studied social work, and I got to know about what NGOs are, what social initiatives are, and luckily got connected to many people who have been very inspiring, who have been working for the society. And for me it was simple. When I was during my journey in Bosco Institute, Jorhat, I actually started to search deeper into myself. I was just a very ordinary, I am an ordinary person. But the ordinary then and ordinary now is different. So I actually had a chance to explore and talk to people, connect with people during my field work, and connecting that with my study. So all these things gave me a different viewpoint towards my life. I mean, I started to know about, like, life is for a purpose. There is a purpose in life, and our duty is to search for that purpose. And that's how I started searching for what I really love to do, and in what way I can contribute to my society. And Rigbo was started because Rigbo is a space for youth, youth space, safe space for youth, where they come and explore themselves. So that same thing, actually, I felt like the same thing I got during my study in Bosco Institute, a space where I could explore and I could go deeper into myself, and look for something which I really love to do in life, things like that. So I thought like, why not I replicate some more spaces like this in our society. So that's how at Rigbo we work with youth to explore about their life, to work on their dreams, and to create a support system that would support young people towards realization of their dreams.
Momee, that is a wonderful initiative. Honestly, it's a really wonderful initiative. And you mentioned something. You said, I'm just an ordinary person. Well, I'd like to add one more line to that. You're an ordinary person doing extraordinary work. Seriously. So, so inspiring. So now coming to my favorite question that I wanted to ask you is about this water hyacinth, that transformation of a destructive weed into something so kind of nutritious for the soil. And it's like literally transforming a harmful weed into something so useful. So I know the water hyacinth infestations are there across in water bodies in Assam, like, in ponds and lakes. I see a lot of water hyacinth infestations, even in my own home state of Kerala. I've seen a lot of those. So, and this novel idea, it's really of turning this water hyacinth into something, like organic manure. It has been absolutely revolutionary, this idea, because, like I said, it's literally turning a negative into a positive. That's what you've done. So please give us every single detail on how you did this. We'd love to know.
Okay. The name of this small project itself is Weeds to Needs. So as we know, like, wheat is unwanted plants that grows. So water hyacinth is a kind of wheat that grows very fast, and it's available in our lakes and ponds. And actually water hyacinth, if it grows in overnight, it can grow so much. So the growth is very fast, and it can affect the life underwater. So that is one thing. And but my guru, he has actually helped me discover this thing, as in, like, water hyacinth is a biomass, and it contains high potash, and which is very good for the soil, one of the thing that the soil needs so much. And when we are talking about organic farming, one thing is that before going into farming, we have to be prepared with the things needed for farming, that is the manure. And plus, when we were actually working with the women, so as to create a support system for our young people, because in our society we always fall back to the mothers mostly. So it was a way to talk about economic sustainability with the women, as well as talk about youth, the issues of the youth that they face. So that is how we started to try out this water hyacinth compost. And later, after it was made, I could really get good feedbacks, as in this was really helpful for the plants, even those who are doing small gardening. And I myself has created a small green shed net house, and I totally use water hyacinth compost, and it gave me good results. And there were many people who really gave us good feedback, feedback that says that it was very, very helpful, and we could gain more production. And the thing was that in nook and corners, people started to make compost of their own through water hyacinth. So, and we did a good actually we did some good launch for this project. And even I remember, even in one of the environment day, we had spoke with a lot of college students, and we talk in length and breadth about the compost, the water hyacinth, and the economic sustainability factor and the environmentally balancing factor and all of these things. So and this practice also continues in our village. We initially had 32 women, and but now those 32 women, all of them are not there in the group because they have their own priorities, as in they are doing it in a different way. They're also making but we are happy that we could give the message. And now we started that long back around in 2017, I think, but till now people have this practice, and I am very happy that my mother and other women in our village are still continuing that practices, and they don't use any more chemicals, and they really opt for organic farming. And I also kind of induce a fear in them that if you see the sickness around, you see the health issues around, so if you are using chemical, you might also fall into that. So please don't use them. And because we cannot think so much for the soil, because I mean, if we are talking about the soil, then it is like cannot relate so much. But if you are talking about our own health issues, then I think we can relate better. So after, if we are able to stop this there, then we can talk about the environmental issues, and how it can really create a bad environment for all of us. Yeah, so that is how the beginning was. Yeah.
So that is really amazing. It's really, really amazing. And I really want to know one thing. Was it very tough to convince the farmers, or was it easy to convince them to actually, to get them to understand that they could make, like you say, make something out of nothing? Was it like a tough thing to convince them, or?
So it was through Rigbo we did this project, Weeds to Needs. The name of the product was Green Gold Organic Manure. So the project was Weeds to Needs, and it's never so easy, because for me, I try to adopt sustainable model to run the NGO. I don't so much depend on fundings and anything of that sort, but I believe in taking small steps, and taking small steps yet very sustainable. So that was one thing, that Weeds to Need project was a zero investment project. All that was needed was the understanding of the people and showing them some dreams of doing some savings in their bank and living a better life. So that was the convincing point. Those were the convincing points, and later we could talk more about the other factors that we had. But well, it was not a huge number that we worked with initially. It was just 32 of them, and we used some techniques, as in we printed all of their names in the packet that we had to encourage them, and we used to put their pictures, which they like also, and we used to let them also market themselves, talk to new people in some of the exhibitions and things like that. So we also adopted the method of working home base in small groups. So it was not that 32 women will come together always, but when we have to do the when we had the training initially, that time they were together, but we made it easy for them, as in form a group of 5 or 6 maximum and do in your own homestead garden, means near your home, which is easily accessible for you. 5 easy to meet up. So those were the things that followed, and we had our volunteers from Rigbo who had helped them out, and they were quite interested, and we could initially harvest around 1180 kgs.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, and we were as a NGO, we were not being the middleman also, but just to have chai pani and travel around. Like we used to, if they sell for 15 rupees, we will just take 2 rupees.
Yeah. That's really
So that was that.
That's really such inspirational work, that you're doing, Momee. And I really want to know that this concept is so unique. Do you plan on scaling up and taking it out to other states? Because I'm sure, this problem of water hyacinth, the infestation is there across India. So this is an amazing concept to actually go out and, take out of the state of Assam to the other states as well. Do you think is that one of your plans?
That plan sounds very good, and I'm open to it. I mean, I would really, if this kind of problem exists, and we used to read in some of the articles and news that the problem of water hyacinth infestation, but why, if it's a problem, I mean, if that is a problem, and if water hyacinth compost making is a solution, I mean, it's a solution because one thing is creating organic compost, and the other thing is to clear up the lakes for aquatic life.
Yeah.
So I think I would be ever happy to help out if anybody needs such any help that I am capable of. I mean, I'll be there always, but due to, I mean, if I am starting in some other places, I will have to be there. Or these days, of course, we can also do trainings through Zoom call and all of these things.
Right.
But one of the Bangalore team had already contacted me actually.
Okay.
I was about to move to Bangalore for a few days and train the women out there on making water hyacinth compost, because it was also covering one of the lake, but due to corona I couldn't go. But when things of this manner pop up in the future, and if anybody, because one thing is I believe in people having the ownership in their own area, because if I am going there, and but I am always ready to share my knowledge and the ideas that is there. So I think that is how it is. Yeah.
I think you're going to get a lot of calls. That I'm sure of. I think once Corona eases out, definitely once people are aware of how you can really transform something so that is toxic into something that is so rich and nutritious for the soil. I'm sure people are going to be connecting with you very soon. And now yeah. So now, in this age of like viruses, with this Corona pandemic, there've been calamities all over. Your message of sustainable farming and together with environmental protection is really the need of the hour. So how do you think we, like say as an organization as Nature's Orbit, how do you think we can amplify your message? Because I think the need now is for people like you who are doing such extraordinary, innovative work, to really kind of have your work known out there. So people also, want to walk that them. I'm sure there are many people who want to walk the same path that, you're walking. So How can we help in amplifying that message?
I think that should begin at our own home. I mean, because we should start small, and we should start with a habit of not letting waste go to really waste.
Yeah.
We should start to because every waste is a compost.
Right.
Yeah, of course, some of the things that is not put in compost are there, like chili, onions, garlic. So other than that, every waste like rice and potato peels, any peels, and anything can go to compost. And for me, I collect everything and let it decay in a small fish box that comes, that too with no cost. So, or we can use matka.
Right.
So I think it begin from home, and little bit of effort that letting waste not go to waste. I think that should be adopted by all of us. I mean, because and when you start to experiment in a small way, only then you can go on a larger scale. I mean, we have to, and also I believe earlier I used to really try out in a very, very small way. My green shed net house was just 1 meter. And I used to put like saplings, vegetable saplings and chili saplings out there. So that gives us the confidence to go more, do more.
Right.
If given a chance, or if we have better investment, in the sense if we have little more resources around. But I think we should start small with the resources, and change our habit of not letting waste to go waste. We should start collecting this in a small way, and when you are successful, and when you actually all this waste becomes very unsmelly, and it becomes very the feel of a manure from a waste.
Right.
So initially what happens is like it gives you a very foul smell, but when it turn into a compost, you should not even wait for like this worms to do the work. It's just a process that will really make it into a beautiful manure just by dumping it around and keeping it covered well. So I think that can be done by everyone, and we should always, I personally feel like we should always start to grow something of our own, which can give us a different feeling. And when something grows, when you put with your own hand, you have a different feeling altogether. It's a healing also. It's healing as well as, if everything goes well, you will be also able to harvest from it, and that can again give you a different feeling. So that is what I would like to say. Start from our home, and
I think
change our habit of wasting, and making every waste into a compost is possible, I feel.
so. I really like your point of when you said no, not letting waste go to waste, and starting small. We can take small, sustainable steps, and to grow something. I think these 3 points are really very interesting, and something that even I am going to try out. Incidentally, I do have a gamla in my house for my organic, for my kitchen waste. So yes, it's lovely because the tips you've given are the tips that the younger generation. See, it's the youth that are going to be kind of taking all this forward, and we're going to have transformative change when the youth rises up to the and starts making the change too. So I think this message of yours is very apt to all of us, and to the younger generation also. Uh, Currently, where there it's these steps that can be taken to promote like these are like little green initiatives that they can take to promote in their areas. Yeah. So now, Momee, we're coming to almost the end of the interview, and I just want to ask you one thing: like, what does Momee Pegu, dream of, or what goals does Momee Pegu have for the next couple of years? Because I know, with this amazing concept and the amazing innovation of yours with the water hyacinth, I'm sure something is sticking in your brain and to do something even more. So what is Momee Pegu's vision for the next couple of years, or her dreams?
Actually, there are a lot of dreams and a lot of things that I would like to do, but maybe I can share a few of them. And one thing is like I always want to keep practicing and learn more about farming. And one income that will come to me is from farming. That is my aim, and I want to share the knowledges with others. And I mean, I want to share messages like not being greedy and not spoiling the environment, using every waste that is there. And definitely, I mean, organic practice should be the one thing that is there in the farming. I mean, I want people that I will always like keep sharing the message about um, organic farming and how it is, how it helps us to balance with the environment. That I will do in a way like I want to develop more of food forest. I want to learn the traditional food forests. So I want to do some studies on that also, so that we can create, so that I have ample knowledge about food forest. And creating food forest would be one of the vision, more and more food forests, because that would really contribute to the environment. And another thing is like we will do this through youth leadership. And for that, one of my plan is also towards building youth leadership. And India being youngest country, having the highest youth population, I'm sure we need more leaders who are better connected to environmental issues and economically sustainable and environmentally balanced.
Thank you so much, Momee. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for inspiring us with the work that you're doing. I mean, it's truly heartening with the work that you're doing and how you're empowering the women of your area, how you're transforming something out of nothing, and you're actually creating like green gold. And we're so happy to have you today with us on this Torchlight, our second episode of the Torchlight series. And I'm looking forward to having you again when you set up your food forests. It'll be lovely to have you back again. So thank you so much, Momee, and keep inspiring us like this.
Thank you so much for listening. And I'm not very comfortable with video calls and so much, because I like to interact like physically. If there is any mistake, do forgive me. And thank you so much for listening. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks you, Momee. Thank you.